All right, so we are on to 5. This is the third person effect. Now, what this basically talks about or demonstrates how one person thinks that the media does not affect them, but affects everyone else, but it doesn't affect their opinion. So let's say you have two groups, or let's just say somebody's watching Fox, the other one's watching CNN, and one person's like, hey, I'm a completely rational person, all right? I'm completely aware of the situation. And I know that the person watching the other network is definitely getting manipulated by that network. In fact, they probably don't think of themselves. They don't make any of their thoughts their own. They're just copying other people's thoughts, unlike me, where I enjoy watching this because everything I believe they're saying. And this is a huge one. A lot of times, everyone gets affected by the media. I mean, everyone does. I mean, companies, businesses, they spend so much for advertising. The more you see, the mere exposure, I'll go into that, the more you see it, the more you're familiar with it. And this effect says, hey, I'm not getting manipulated at all. But the other person is. But yet that other person is thinking the exact same thing. You have to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Iterative deduction strategy and Nash equilibrium say, hey, that other person over there is getting manipulated, but I'm not. And they're both pointing at each other, saying that they're not getting manipulated, but the other person is. So you sort of have to take a step back and say, well, if everyone's doing this, I'm definitely getting manipulated. I mean, it's odd one out. It's like, okay, I'm definitely getting manipulated. So you have to be aware of that. So that is another thing that people have. Anything else I want to talk about that? No, I just think that's everything. I think the third person effect is one that is very simple to understand, but yet very powerful, and not a lot of people give it second thought. And it doesn't, I guess it doesn't just have to be news, like watching TV. Any way you get information, you could, a way of looking at it is like, hey, a teacher's giving this information about this certain topic. And a lot of times when you look into science and you start going a little bit farther, you notice that people are divided on both sides. Do you throw time into the fourth dimension, or do you leave it out? Is it completely different logic and stuff like that? And you get into arguments, well, how did the world start? Whoops daisies, oh boy. And all that kind of stuff. So you always get these divides going off, and you always have to be careful of who's giving the information and why am I getting that information. And if I'm getting that information, what are other ways I can look at it? And sometimes that's a lot harder than it sounds simple, like I'll just go get information somewhere else, but it's actually harder to do, and there's more biases that talk about that I'll talk about later. But yeah, that is the third person effect. Demonstrate how one thinks that the media does not affect them, but affects everyone else around them. Thank you.